Hey everybody. So last time I did a little CD thing. Today I'm gonna do a little headphone thing. We're just gonna keep doing things and see how this thing goes. Because I love chasing my passions, things that I care about. And this is a big one. I've been very passionate about music for a very long time. As a matter of fact, it's one of the few things I could speak about with authority that, like, because video games I could speak with some authority, but like music I could speak just like I I got you. Like I know a thing or two. So yeah. Anyway, I've been doing a thing lately because I never leave well enough alone. So yeah, this is the thing that I've been doing. These are some Koss. What's the number on these? KPH 30Is, I believe. Yes, KPH 30Is. I ordered the white and blue ones. They sent me the clear ones, and some people love the clear ones more. Anyway, you see what I did there? That, because it doesn't have the cables. Where's the cable? Oh, the cable's right here. Like, it's detachable. Which makes these, which are already an insane awesome headphone for the value, but also just you could end it full stop. Like, these are an insane headphone. End of sentence. They really are. People ranting and raving about them all over YouTube, and they're not wrong. You put these fucking Yaxi pads on there. I think they're called Yaxi pads. If you just search for their Porta Pro pads, these take the same pads as Porta Pros. Anyway, so yeah, like, because this one is actually red and this one is actually blue on the innard, uh on the actual inside, on the driver, I believe, this one is red and this one is blue. And so you put the red and the blue and you do the detachable cable mod, and it sounds amazing. I was listening to Amy Winehouse on these over Thanksgiving and was like, so good. You have no right to sound so good. But yeah, really amazing. And I was like thrilled that I did a decent job modding these. I was like, I can't believe I did that. Because I've done a lot of projects in my life that have just gone to shit. Like, let me be honest with you. I'm not amazing. I'm not the most handiest of men. Like, I'm moderately handy, but I'm also like a bit of an impatient fuck up. So I sometimes impatiently fuck things up, as you will see tonight. Anyway, here are some other beautiful, like, amazing for their price, but also just amazing. These are the Samson SR850s. People love these, the whole AKG connection to the amazing AKGs of the 1970s. And these are built based on the same pattern. They just are made cheaper with plastic instead of leather. And, but you can, for like an extra couple of bucks, order them with the velour pads already on. And these are like, they're okay. Like, I have better velour pads, like on my Koss DJ Pro 200s. There might be 200. I don't always remember the numbers. It's because there's a DJ1 version and there's a DJ2 that has the detachable cable. That's the one I have. Anyway, so speaking of detachable cable, haha, did it. Don't look at the hot glue dangling down. Or yeah, is not perfect, But like, if I didn't point out to you that it wasn't perfect, you still might notice. Like, because if you're watching this, you're probably the sort of person who looks at headphones. But you would also be like, this man spent $34 on these headphones and now they have a detachable cable. That's cool. That's good. And they sound amazing. You know, they sound just as good as they did before I modded them, which is something. Because I wrestled with those for a while. Uh, I didn't have an accurate diagram for what the wiring on those was. And so I was a bit lost in the woods for a minute. And until I found somebody like a very nice Indian gentleman who had done a video, and I paused on exactly the right frame where I was able to zoom in and be like, okay, how was that wired originally? And then I was able to get it put back together, and now they sound amazing. I thought I lost them, thought I lost the patient on the table. I was very sad there for a minute, but then, my wife was like, "Oh, he all excited all of a sudden." I was like, "I brought them back to life, the power." I get ridiculous. Anyway, another very similar set. These are the much lauded Superluxes, the HD681s. Yeah, HD681. I know my things. I put some velour pads on these. Not the best ones, but like they work. They're better than the original pads that have the sharp crease from having been shipped in fucking shrink wrapped cardboard. They sell these for super cheap because they spend nothing on packaging. Like, you have in your office supply closet right now, wherever you work, the wherewithal to make a better way of shipping these than these are actually shipped. Like, I swear to God, you yourself could come up with a better way of shipping these than the actual company who makes them. But yeah, these are also, built on the AKG model, but on the cheap. And ta-da! Wait, what is this? Is this some sort of a water spout? This is like some discoloration on my pad. I'm gonna have to look into this. Anyway, but yeah, these are also detachable cable modded. In retrospect, do I wish that I had done the cable mod like the HD668s? Or the ones with the little dog bone pushy down on your head bit? Yeah, I wish that I left like a cable dangling rather than doing a jack in, because there's just not enough room for a jack in. You think there'd be, there is not. That's the way it is. And so unfortunately, like, there's a lot of cable mods. Mine's not the only doofy looking one on the internet. You can look around and see some other people's like not that great, and then other people who are like clearly a cut above the rest of us being like, I don't know what your problem is, because mine look professional. Anyway, now this one, you gotta understand, like, I'm not an idiot, okay? I'm not stupid. I may seem like I am sometimes, but I'm not. And so, okay, I had this pair of Corsair HS50s. And these are nice goddamn open back gaming headphone. Has a decent natural sound rating on Artings, right? They're built like very similar to some nice top dollar, because this is all like, it's metal, and it's got some good heft, and the like quilted fucking headband and everything. Like there's some serious fucking business here, right? It just feels very substantial. These, in reality, these are not the most. What the frick? Think I got some hot glue on this. Damn it. Anyway, I'm finding out right now with the light that my mods are not as clean as I thought they were, perhaps. Um, anyway, seeing my real-time disappointment with myself. There you go. Can it get realer than this? Anyway, so yeah, detachable cable mod. Now here's the thing on these is that these well, before I tell you what happened to these, let me tell you what happened to these. Okay, these Tascams. Same people that were telling me, like, oh, get your Superluxes, get your Samsons, get your Koss KPH 30Is, and then do the MMCX cable mod on them. Were like, oh, these fucking Tascams, it's a closed back, TH-02s, but these are awesome, and they're like, oh, it's going to be very similar to your Koss uh, Pro DJ 200s. And I was like, oh, well, I love those headphones. Like, I would be, and they fold nicely, and they got, they basically, that's what they are. They're built after the Koss, except on the Koss, these are metal, and like everything is just much higher. And these are some cheap ass headphones that everybody said sounded good. Now, same is true of the Samsons, same is true of the KPH 30Is, same is true of the Superluxes. All of them are headphones that people are like, these cost not that much money and they sound superb. And you can go to Artings. The reason I say go to Artings is because they do the actual work. They have the fucking graphs of the frequency response and everything. They bring it into multiple categories and they track everything. And the rating systems are very even-handed and very fair and do not favor, big names over small names. Like they just putting out the science of how well things are performing. It's a consumer ratings website, so like they want you to know as a consumer, here's what's good. Well, here's the fucking thing is that if you bought some like high-end Sennheisers, right, they have the same natural sound rating as the Superluxes. The Sennheisers are gonna, they're gonna cost you multiple hundreds of dollars. And the Superluxes, which have the same natural sound rating, but they're all plasticky and cheap. And the Sennheisers are like sturdy and will last forever. Uh, and the Superluxes come to you in a piece of cardboard and it gets all creasy on the ear cups and you're like, I have to replace these immediately. But they have the same natural sound rating because they reproduce sound exactly as well as each other. Only one of them costs hundreds of dollars more. And so I'm all about that kind of shit. Like I'm all about it. And so the same people telling me that like, oh, these are so good, you can't believe, oh my God. They were also like, these Tascams are pretty damn good. And I've always hated these. I've always thought they sounded muddy and dark and bad. Like, I just, headphones are such a personal taste. And, like, yes, even when things are highly rated, sometimes we don't all agree with our ears on what actually sounds good. But these Tascams sound like shit to me. And I did the cable mod hoping that like, and these fit the cable mod so much better. Like they have a hole that's exactly the right size and it goes right up to the edge. And I did the mod exactly right and they were working, they were playing, they still sounded like shit. And then I put the hot glue in and they died because I had to glue the jack down, and I was like, well, I could use epoxy and give it a really good bond and also build up the plastic around it. And I was like, but then it stinks really bad and it takes a while for it to fully cure. And I was like, well, I could use super glue. And I'm like, I have to go find the bottle and all that. Hot glue right here. Zip zop. And here's the problem is that these have little enamel coated wires on the inside. Yeah. So the enamel coated wire, the enamel melts at a lower temperature than the hot glue, which I would not have thought, but it does. And so it killed these headphones, which is good because I've been looking to get rid of these. So fuck them. Uh, but like, yeah, now I know, and now you know, do not go fucking around with hot glue and enamel coated wires. So that brings us to these. And I know you're looking at these. If anybody's ever opened these, they'd be like, oh, that's enamel coated wires. And I'd be like, yes, it is. It is. And they'd be like, you used hot glue on that, didn't you? And I'm like, I did. I did. Absolutely did. And they'd be like, oh, you completely fucked it up. No, because here's what I did. I took the wire from either the Samsons or the Superluxes. I cut out lengths of stranded wire, plastic coated, but the thin stuff that they use in for these headphones, which sound amazing, already established, sound amazing. So like the wire can't be that bad, can it? Took that wire, and when you open these up, there's a PCB, a printed circuit board, and it's labeled. There's a PCB because these are gaming headphones. They have a fucking thing for a microphone, which I have permanently detached because I I don't speak into these kind of microphones. I'm talking into the phone on my talking into the microphone on my phone right now. And I normally, when I'm making other videos, talking to a really nice microphone. But yeah, I don't do these little like on the mouth gaming headset microphones. I don't like them. And so I popped that off, and these always sounded pretty good to my ear. Once again, like there is always room for discrepancy on things like that, and people might not always feel the same about it, but I always thought these sounded pretty good. And yeah, so I wired it up, and before I start gluing anything down, plugged a wire in, got some music running through these, checking. I always play Queen's Now I'm Here. It is the best for testing left and right channels, making sure everything's playing correctly. And when you're doing headphones, you definitely want to check, like, is my left channel and my right channel still playing? You want to know that you haven't damaged any of the little teeny tiny wires in there, right? And so I played it before I glued everything up, and it sounded perfectly fine. Everything was normal. And then I super glued the bottom of this and then hot glued over the top. And I waited for the super glue to set. So it was like, I'm not going to be a moron like I was with the Tascams. We're going to do this as well as we possibly can. And also because it was working, like people hot glue PCBs all the time. Like you see it in all kinds of electronics of both a cheap and a well-manufactured nature. Like hot glue exists and is used in all kinds of PCB applications. So I wasn't worried about that. And also, I was not using, there was no possibility of hot glue touching enamel coated wire. Is only touching plastic coated stranded wire. And I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I have no idea what happened with these, because then I put them on and I played Queen's Now I'm Here, and it said, like, everything sounded right, but kind of not. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm hearing both the Now I'm Here and the Now I'm There, but like one of these things is not like the other. I need to figure out what's going on. So I just went on YouTube and I pulled up just like channel testing. Left channel, right channel, both channels, like that kind of nonsense. And like, here's the thing. Okay. I don't know. Like, it is printed on the PCB where to put the wires. I just desoldered the enamel wires and put on um, a uh, a white wire for the right channel, or no, a red wire. Right is red. Red wire for the right channel, white wire for the left channel, black wire for the ground, and they are all labeled L, R, G, and and then I wired those, black wire to the bottom long post on the jack, and then left to the left, right to the right, just like it's supposed to. They're numbered 1, 2, 3, and and this was my fourth mod today that I was doing, and yeah, I don't know what happened, because after I glued it, craziest thing. Now I get my left channel in both my left and right ears, and my right channel only in my left ear. I was like, wait a minute, what? Huh? That, what? And I was like, but it doesn't seem like the right channel playing in both ears is louder than the left channel playing in one ear. And I'm like, there's no way music sounds okay with this configuration. And so I played some music. And what did I play? First, I play my all-time test track to see if something sounds good. Because if something sounds good, it will be able to recreate all parts of Dave Brubeck's Take 5. This is a classic test track. If something can play that well, it can play anything well. Just because, the way the percussion hits, the subtleness of the piano, the breathing sounds that you hear in the saxophone part. Anything that can recreate the sound of Dave Brubeck's Take 5 in all its nuance, then it can recreate anything. And so I put these on, and I put on Dave Brubeck, and it was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. It was like I was surrounded by the band, because like drums and bass are over here on my right side, and uh, a piano and saxophone are over here on my left side. I was like, this is really interesting, because neither channel was overpowering the other, but I was hearing one of them like I could feel that this one was surrounding most of my head, and that this one was only taking up a portion, but like it felt like I was completely surrounded with the sound. I was like, that's strange. That's a strange sensation. And so I did the next logical thing that you do when you're like, this sounds kind of good, but it also sounds kind of crazy. You put on krautrock, because that's the answer right there. And so I put on their Ergzy Malerksky. I don't know what, I don't remember that album name ever. It's the one with a can of green beans on the cover. You know the one I'm talking about. Anyway, I put on that Can album, and it sounded phenomenal. absolutely phenomenal. I put on the meters, put on some old school funk, and it was immersive. And the best way that I can describe it, because like I have heard like a proper quadraphonic setup playing through a quadraphonic turntable into a quadraphonic receiver that's set up for the whole fucking shebang. I've heard that and it sounds pretty fucking good, you know? This is like three quarters of that. That's the best explanation I can give, is that it's like three quarters quadraphonic. Like, what? What have I done? I don't know. It's like mad science. But, oh, is that coming off? God damn you. Stupid pads. Always wanting to come off. Anyway. Oh, yeah. Anyway, we'll get that tucked back in there. Don't you worry. But yeah, ladies, gentlemen, Headphone Mod Day was a rousing success and a baffling one. So don't be afraid to mod your headphones. Be aware you might lose them. So I wouldn't like learn on headphones that you won't feel bad if you fuck up. And like, yeah, if I had, some Beyerdynamic DT770s, I would not do those. I would make someone else do them. I would pay someone to do them. Even though I'm like, yeah, fairly handy with a soldering iron and know how to look at a diagram or two, like given how some things go, I might, trust a professional to that. But like all the other ones, the KPH 30Is, the Samsons, the Superluxes, just all three of those headphones sound fantastic. And you just can't get over how much better a cable mod is, a detachable cable mod is over stock, long ass, permanently attached headphone cord that at the lengths that they give you with these models, you will kneel on them if you ever are looking at records on the bottom rack. And then when you stand up, it's going to yank and that cable is going to die and you're going to end up having to do this anyway. So like do it early so that you don't have to regret being forced to do it later. Do it as your choice rather than the choice of circumstance. That's how I feel about it. Anyway, well, I hope this was at all informative. If you would like to learn how to cable mod things, there are many good places to go. Literally just go into YouTube, type in your model of headphone, and then followed by detachable cable mod. And you will find people who have already created better, more detailed videos showing exactly what to do and how, better than I could have. Because, hint, hint, secret time. I totally started making a video when I was modding the Samsons. I modded them first and I fucked them up royally and had to do all new wiring. Like had to run new wires for everything. Entire headphone. And really regretted it. Sounded great in the end, but man, what a headache. Like it took me 10 times as long to mod the Samsons as it did to mod all the other headphones. Like, so yeah, they came out working fine. But like, yeah, I am not the one, because once I stopped trying to make a video, then I actually modded them correctly. So I don't think I'm the one that's going to be modding them for you and showing you, walking you through each step of the process. Leave that for someone with some good filming skills who can also talk and do things at the same time. Not me. Not my bag. Anyway, people, hope you enjoyed this. And yeah, feel free to tell me if you've got Budget King headphones like me, because that's what I'm all about, Budget King stuff. Anyway, people, good times. We'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye.